Hey everyone, this one is going to be a bit more of a serious topic, one that I hope puts some of the community members' minds at ease. Hey everyone, I hope you're well, playing and making the games that you all love. You're joining me, your host, Max Pears, and I hope you're having an amazing day, night, or evening, whenever that you're listening to this. I hope that you're all well and that you and your loved ones are all safe during these time periods. Now, I mentioned here earlier in the intro that this was going to be a slightly more serious topic, just because of the fact that I've seen a lot of this recently come up into some of the mentees that I have, some of the other people that I talk to, whether it be through the community or online. And I kind of think that I really want to address the issue and kind of try help put people's minds at ease. Now, the topic, you may be wondering what it is. The topic is that of kind of, how we say, mental health, that on imposter syndrome, or that of feeling that you aren't making any progress. Slightly two things, and just for the record here, obvious, but it needs to be said. I am not a doctor, I am not a medical professional, so this is not something that you should think about as in me helping to resolve the full, deeper issues. If you do obviously suffer from depression or any forms of anxiety, I do recommend that you go see someone, a professional, to really help you. Just because these things can weigh heavy on a lot of people, and I'd rather see you get professional help. What I'm trying to come at this from is someone who is trying to, because when I mentioned the examples earlier, they come and focus a lot around that of imposter syndrome, or feeling that you're not going to make it, comparing yourself and your progress to that of people that maybe you know online. So it's more of a professional point of view, and also in the industry applying it to game development. So as I said, if you do feel that you need to address some of the deeper roots of these problems, this episode isn't going to address that, and I shouldn't be consulted for actual medical advice. All right, so please do, if you want to go through that, go seek professional help on that one to help you get better. I am a fan of therapy and elements like that, so there is no judgment here. I just want you all to be healthy physically and mentally. So that's going to be our subject matter. I know it's kind of a different one to our usual more upbeat topics and that, but as I mentioned, I'm just seeing a lot of people mention these issues way more, sadly, and I think obviously it can relate to the situation that we've all been in for the last year and continuing to be so in 2021. So for those of you who may have lost loved ones, I send my condolences, because it must be very difficult for everyone on that front. I think there's many reasons why I've seen an increase, so I really want to get through these to try and help. But first, let's have a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is none other than me. What I've done, everyone, and I hope you're excited for this, is I've actually created a level design kind of store. What I've done in this store is put up different kinds of tips and tricks that you can find there, whether that be my actual ebook itself, to that of level design pamphlets focused on different things such as traversal, stealth, breaking into the industry, as well as different talks that I have done which you cannot find anywhere else other than on this store. So if you are looking to improve on your level design skills and processes, then check out the Level Design Store, which will be down in the description below, where there'll be a link to find this. All you need to do is head over to gumroad.com/level design lobby. I hope you like what you see, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Thank you, and now back to the show. Now, the first one I want to talk about is imposter syndrome. For those of you who don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's basically meaning the fact that even if you have the skills, the knowledge, or the know-how, experience, that you still feel that you shouldn't be there, that this is all a lie, you somehow faked it, and that you're soon going to be exposed. This is one of the definition of imposter syndrome for that. And this comes and affects many of us in the creative industry, not just video games, but the creative outlets as well. And it's something that I've suffered from, still do from time to time. Many of my friends, people that I look up to, have all had this at a certain point. This is why I'm trying to mention it to you, because it affects all of us. And I wish I knew more about how it happens, what makes us feel that way, when really you shouldn't worry too much on it. If you have the feeling, and again, this is just a suggestion, I want you to just kind of take a deep breath and understand and try and look at what you've already achieved, your portfolios, your work, because that is the reason why you're there, your attitude. You're not there because you faked it. I mean, some people may have, but honestly, most of the time it's not true. To get into this industry is a lot of hard work, and especially in the realm of game design and level design, because you have to provide actual evidence on why you're good through your level design structures. And this is something I just want you to take, refuge in. And the more the fact is your hard work and your studying and what you've achieved is based on that, right? So focus on these elements and also try and ask yourself, why are you feeling like that? What is it? Is it because that you're surrounded by people that you admire and respect? Is it because you think you did something wrong? This is another thing that I recommend that you kind of do with this. Try look deeper. What is the reason that has triggered this thought process, right? With that there, that's when you can start to understand it. Because if it's because you're surrounded by, say, designers that you admire that know more than you do, well, to be honest with you, that's even better. Not the feeling, but when you discover that, you can be like, oh, great, this is a huge learning experience for you. These incredible people aren't there to try to take your job away, to topple you. They're there to make great games with you. They're there to help you. So see this as a learning experience. Elements that you can gain from them, improve your overall craftsmanship by having these examples to go to and learn from. This is going to happen a lot as well. I've had it multiple times in my life, even when I go give talks to schools, when I've been promoted, even releasing my book. All of these elements, I'm like, oh my goodness, why would anyone listen to me? And that just happens at this podcast. I mean, some days where I'm like, man, someone's going to eventually call me out and tell me that my podcast is awful and it's all going to be true. That happens. But again, that was the fear of putting my voice out there, understanding that also I don't know everything. That's why I do sections and adapted my structure of the podcast. When we first started, essential reading is not what it is now, and we have more regular interviews because of what I learned from the imposter syndrome. So I use that just as an example, not to brag or boast, but to show you when you can just take a little step back, breathe, take a nice break, and look deep within. You can find out many solutions for some of the issues you may previously have thought that was the reason why you had imposter syndrome. So please, again, take time to just study yourself, as it'll be very useful. The next one here is the comparison, right? Now, this one isn't just related to video games. Yet again, a lot more people are developing anxiety because of social media, this constant comparison we hold ourselves to versus that of others. So this one's a tough one to have solutions from. I know it's easy to be like, just get off social media. It's not always as easy as that. Especially as social media is growing, you're trying to build a brand, right? You're trying to represent yourself too. And this can be a hard thing. I've forgotten, I was listening to, let me just bring this up. It's called How I Built This. It's a very interesting podcast. It's speaking of entrepreneurs, businessmen and women, and how they created their business to where it is now. And it was it's called How I Built Resilience, Maura Aaron's Melee of Women Online. And she speaks about that of mental health and that worry of comparison, right? This fighting mentally. But one of the things she said, and it sounds so simple, I know all these answers have so far, but I sometimes think the term is Occam's razor. The simplest answer is often right. I could be wrong, so if I was wrong with that terminology, please correct me right there. What she mentions though is she started to compliment more people. as a team leader, because sometimes as team leads, we've all seen it or experienced it, where someone has felt that because you, as a team lead, you're not the one doing any work, right? You're not in control of that. And one of the hardest things is you letting control, trusting others. And sometimes leads can become very micromanaging, maybe aggressive and very harsh on feedback because of their insecurities, right? One of the things that she noticed and was trying to change from this is she'd learned that there's a reason she hired these people, right? There's the reason that you may be comparing yourself to these people. And the reason is like respect for them, but also understanding that people are going to be better than you at certain things at certain times, right? And what helped to get over this was paying these people compliments. And she felt a lot better because of that. She felt like a weight was lifted. And I mean sincere compliments, not just, you look great, through gritted teeth, but really giving these people the respect that they deserve, right? Really just pay compliments, because this helps. It'll help you just let go of any anxiety or anger because you're celebrating. Someone else's success does not take away from your success. There's a lot of room in this industry for us all to grow and succeed.
At Level Design Lobby, we believe everybody has a story to tell. Hobbyist or student, freelancer or veteran, we made it our mission to unite those who share our passion for creating and developing great games. Thanks to our generous Patreon backers, we've been able to do just that. So if you've already pledged your support, thank you. If not, you too can ensure the future of Level Design Lobby, helping us to create even more exciting content, collaborations, interviews, and much more. With awesome perks and rewards, whether you're a seasoned professional or just getting started, you're sure to find something for you. Want to share tips, tricks, and advice with passionate, like-minded developers? Our awesome community Discord has you covered. Fancy practicing your level design, creating strong portfolio content, and having fun? Then try our level design weekends. Or perhaps you want to individually discuss your work, hone your skills, or level up your career? Then consider our one-on-one mentorships. If you share our vision, then go to patreon.com/Level Design Lobby for more information and to pledge your support. Thank you.
And there's a lot of, and I hope when I say this doesn't get me in trouble down the line, there are a lot of awards, or one of the awards that has been used in different by different companies called 30 under 30, right? And this puts a lot of pressure on you to achieve this by that time. And sometimes you may never even get nominated, all right? Like, that's just how it goes, okay? Like, that can really be a result of it. But that doesn't change you. That doesn't mean you're less successful or less skilled than someone who wins it or is nominated. The reason I also want to bring this up is from two friends of mine and developers that I have the utmost respect for, who truly deserve to be admired, didn't even start their careers in games till they were in their 30s. So all this pressure you're putting on yourself, you should be there, I should be there already by now. It's okay. First example is, and I've mentioned him so many times, is Manny Diaz. I think he's now game director at Ubisoft Reflections. But when I was there, he was lead level designer and then level design director. And he didn't start his career in games until he was in his 30s as QA and worked his way up to where he is now. Another one previously, Daniel Molnar, again, didn't start his career until he was in his 30s. My third friend, Gus Braid, who was the previous animation lead on Cyberpunk, as well as that of GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, LA Noire, like most big titles, I think all the way going back to GTA Vice City, didn't start his career in animations and in games till in his 30s. So understand there is still time, everyone. You don't need to be there right now. Well, I know you prefer to, and what I mean by you don't need to be there is there's still time. If you're not there now, it will come, as long as you're putting in the effort, the hard work, the networking, all of this. And that's one thing just to remember. If you're ever feeling like, oh man, I'm just not there yet, take note of all those examples. And these are just some that I know. There's probably many others who didn't start their career till they're in their 30s and now in great successful positions. So try not to put too much pressure on yourself. The comparison will always be there. Try celebrate instead of look internally. Try to celebrate everyone's success. Because also, when you start to help one another, it only means the best of things, because we all grow, because we're not focused on individual or selfish reasons. Please keep that in mind. Now, I cannot obviously ignore that of COVID, right? This has played a huge role, and I think a lot of stuff that's come from this as in a result of COVID sometimes, and it's just an overall industry problem that I think we need to solve and figure out, is crunch. Sometimes you'll be crunching more because of COVID, home office, your PC's right there, right? You're like, oh, well, I'm already here, may as well just keep continuing. Crunch and this COVID, the combined situation. Crunch is a whole other topic we can talk about one day. I'm talking about it more in the context of combining it with the situation of being confined to your own space, the same four walls over and over again. This is going to do some damage as you're just constantly working. You need to take a break. Honestly, I would advise you to get hobbies outside of video games, because you're going to take your passion from these other hobbies into your work, and it's going to shine and be inspired in many different ways. Now, the thing is with it is, try and understand that you need to have like respect for your own personal time. Respect for that with whether you can see friends, family, or your partner. Hopefully you are quarantining or staying safe with at least some people that you love. It's obviously harder if you're living by yourself, but please do stay in regular contact with your loved ones. What I think you're doing with crunch here is it can be very detrimental, right? Very detrimental. From someone who's been through crunch on multiple projects, one of the biggest damages is it can do to you is also physical. Like, I am a horrible snacker during those crunch periods, ballooning out to some disgusting weights because I don't think my health is worth more than the products that I'm working on, and that's something that I need to switch off to. You being healthy, and I'm not saying everyone needs to be a resident of Shred City. What I'm referring to is just take care of yourself mentally by stepping away from work, going for a walk 30 minutes every day, eating healthy. All of this will help you feel better. All of this. So again, I've only dabbled on this topic of crunch and COVID, but just show and make sure you have time for yourselves, everyone. The more you do this, the better it's going to be, because you having a healthier balance with the ones that you love, it really will be better for you in the long term. Finally, we have, and I'm only going to touch on this next topic briefly, simply because I don't want to lose my cool and rather talk about it in a more calm manner, is the response of certain gamers online, whether it be through Twitter, other social medias, just harassing devs. More so for that of female devs, sadly, which is just fucking disgusting. And I think we spoke about this briefly on a previous Q&A. I wish I had a better answer, but you've got to understand that those who scream the loudest aren't the defining opinion of everyone. Please keep that in mind, everyone. Like, really keep that in mind. And also learn when to step away, okay? If someone does send you death threats, please contact the authorities. They have, trained squadrons on these kind of topics. And I mention this just because I want you to kind of take a step away from this sometimes. Think about what you're proud of. There is an interview that hasn't aired yet, but I did it with a friend of mine, Kevin Penkin, who, for those of you who don't know, he is the composer for the games such as Florence and other great indie titles, as well as that in more of the anime scene, whether that be Tower of God, Made in Abyss, or why am I forgetting this one? I just feel so. That's it, Rise of the Shield Hero. There are others as well. And we spoke about this kind of critics online and overall just criticism of your work. And it's funny because I think it was about 2 days ago. I'm not too sure as I'm recording this. There was a brilliant critic, he wasn't a journalist, saying that he believes critics put in more effort in reviewing than they do in the actual artist who's made the work that they're criticizing. And when you're seeing stuff like that, it really doesn't put much faith in people when they think their egos are that inflated. But the reason I kind of bring this up is you're never going to make anyone happy. If someone who just reviews work has an ego like this, trust me, their opinion is not worth it. What I want you to do, from ignoring the Twitter and those there, is take a deep dive to your work yourself, right? Where were you at the start of this project? Because as we know, games take years. Some might be slightly less time, but still take a lot of time, months to years. And what I kind of want to mention with it all is, that I said, like, where you started, how have you improved? What are you proud of? Like, what elements? Because even if you haven't, for example, got like a full level you're proud of, there are going to be moments in there. Why does that make you proud? What can you learn from that, right? These things, and push those to the front of your mind. Because at the end of the day, yes, critics are there to help decide people to buy, but they're not there to run your career. They do not decide how good of a designer, a developer you are. That's on you. You are worth more than someone's opinion online. Always remember that. Take some time away, as I mentioned, all the way through each of these problems, and breathe. Okay. Now I'm going to wrap this up. As this is a little bit more serious. One of the things that I found about, like, I want to improve on the podcast is sometimes I feel like my energy is very flat, so I need to kind of raise up the energy just a little bit to help with my punctuation and communication. But this is not the episode. As I mentioned, there's a reason I'm doing this. I've seen a bigger rise in the community when talking to people about this, and I just wanted to send out a message that you are okay. You are all doing well, and I'm proud of each and every one of level design that I've seen in this community, level design that I've reviewed, the mentees, part of the mentorship, every one of you, and not just the people that are involved in the community. Obviously, there's amazing people who necessarily aren't, are working hard, and take pride in that, because each time you put yourself through a little bit of a personal work, you will grow from this. Online courses, all of these. And that's the thing that I want you to focus on more, is focus on your own development. And when I mentioned crunch, this is something that I just personally believe, and again, I hope this doesn't cost me a job moving forward, is that I would always advise that of especially juniors or interns, because I know you're trying to make a good impression, hoping that they keep you on, they promote you. But if you want to impress people, obviously work hard, but it's about working smarter, not harder. If you really want to do personal work for you. Don't be crunching to do certain things on a game. Do it for yourself, because you never know what's going to happen with that company. Do they value you as you value the company? That's a question. So I would always advise you to work on your personal stuff, because you have control of that. You're going to learn a lot from that. You can still get your friends and teammates to review your work, but you have more control, and that is going to be the most free and challenging thing, because then the review process is solely on you. That's when you go, what's wrong? Is this good? Is this right? You're going to learn a lot from doing that. So that's my last kind of tidbit. Again, if you're looking for actual professional advice, this is not the place. Please go and contact professionals as for that. I hope that's put some of you at ease. Honestly, I hope. Maybe it's just an outlet just to say that I see what's happening and I hope that you're all okay. This is trying times for us. Obviously, jobs are scarce in many industries. I don't know what it's like for finding jobs in between right now. So I hope there's still a lot of works. Obviously, the games industry still did very well financially last year. And that if you're still in school, this is obviously a crazy time for you. So I'm sorry you're going through that. Just know that you're okay. You're on the right path. And just take your time with it. Because I understand the frustration. But again, just breathe. Put in the hard work. And everything will get better. All right, everyone. I hope you did enjoy that. If you want to get in contact with me, you can do so on Twitter @MaxPairs. If you want to email into the show, please do leveldesignlobby@gmail.com. And if you want to support this show and be part of our incredible community, please head over to patreon.com/level design lobby. Alright everyone, take care, and I'll speak to you all very soon.